What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bringing you incredible guests from all over the world. So sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is a mindset, fitness, nutrition, and health coach. Joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, please welcome Toktam Thomas. Toktam, welcome. Did I say your name correctly?
Thank you for having me. Yes, Toktam Thomas. It's like talking to Tom. Toktam, Toktam.
It's a very unique name.
It is. I've never heard anybody else with this name. Even in Iran, where I was born, I've not met anyone with this name, or in Germany or here. So it's everywhere a challenge.
Does it mean something special?
I have tried to look it up. The foundings were early in the morning and be ambitious.
Oh, okay. So I think that totally fits you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So you've had a very interesting life. So you were an immigrant from Iran. You're raised and lived in Germany for 26 years, and now you live in the U.S. But during your childhood, you actually emancipated yourself at a very young age.
Correct. That's correct. Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that journey and what that was like for you?
Yes. So after my parents moved to Germany, my mom was challenged very much with her husband, my dad. She basically, he was always abusive. Even in Iran, she moved to Germany and then she divorced him. So she got the custody for all three kids, and we ended up seeing my dad every other week on a Sunday, just casually.
Yeah.
And so she had her own trauma, obviously led her into bad choices, marrying this man who was abusive to us and to her, towards us. And then she basically got to know somebody else, her new boyfriend. Yeah. And she was alone with three kids in a country where she barely spoke the language. It was challenging for her. So she met this man, and he brought just drugs and alcohol into our house.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm the youngest of three. And I basically, at that point, started raising myself. I got up in the morning myself, got myself ready, went to school. Lunch, when we had money and food, then maybe I got lucky. I took my own lunch. Maybe most of the time I didn't.
Yeah.
Went to school. It's not like here with schools. You just have to figure it out yourself how you get to school, and not public school and public buses. And it just went downhill for my mom, and she was overwhelmed with the situation. And so it was really, it evolved into the situation. My mom she was very wise. So she taught me to think for myself, and to always make decisions that are good for me, regardless of whatever everybody else says.
Sure.
And so I started meeting some friends that gave me the love and attention that I didn't get at home, which led me into a little bit not good. Like I tried to I was 9 or so. Started experimenting with cigarettes and drugs and alcohol. And at home, it was very toxic. Yeah. So I didn't feel comfortable home. Long story short, they were a group of men. They were 6, 7, 8 years older. I was maybe 10 at that point, 11. The time between 10 and 12, I barely remember, because it was so traumatic for me, the whole experience, that I can't even tell you anymore what was happening and how old I was. Anyhow, 2 of the men unfortunately took advantage of me physically as well. And that was the point where I just said, okay, my family cannot protect me. My mom cannot protect me. It was one of the worst situations. However, also one of the best things, because I just stood up and I said, well, nobody's coming to save me. So I need to do it myself. So I started a fight against my family with the authorities.
Wow.
And they didn't want to really want me out of the household. I still protected my mom. I still was not telling the truth and what has happened. I just was saying I'm not okay at home.
Yeah.
So they didn't have much to hold on to. They put me into a transitioning institute, so to say. And during that time, they decided that I have to go back home, which was impossible for me to go back home. My sister was lost for herself, my brother, my mom was basically smoking opium every day. So it was a real, yeah, she was basically either sleeping or she was so dark inside that it was hard to be around her. She was just reflecting all of her lacking onto us children. And so before, I mean, I was like maybe 11 and a half at that point, I chose to try to take my life as a little kid, which fortunately, yes, it didn't obviously happen.
Right.
Because there were other people and kids living who called the person who was in charge, and they took me to the hospital and so on. However, that situation set the officials off, and they said something is going on there. We have to take her out. So they left me with a decision where I wanted to live, and I wanted to live in this specific home. It's like an orphanage, but it was in the woods, and it was very, very, it was heaven for me.
Yeah.
Other people always thought, how could you live there? For me, it was just peace. I could just go to school. I had food, I had clothes, and somebody was not constantly so toxic towards me.
Yeah.
So from that point on, I basically told myself that I'm not going to step into my parents' shoes.
Right.
And I'm not going to get out of that institute being whatever everybody else will tell me I'm going to be, and be also on drugs and alcohol and make all the same mistakes. So I took it up on me, and by age 16, I had some help, therapy, and all those things. But by age 16, I moved out, and I went to school and paid my bill and worked and did all of that on my own. And it was great until I had my own children. So when my daughter was born, all that trauma came out, and I had to just
either deal with
deal with it, learn to overcome it. But by the end of the day, I always say, I mean, there's hardly any boxes that I did not check before age 12.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that wherever they are in life, there is, I mean, the best times came always after the darkest times for me. And after I have pushed through things that I thought I couldn't do, even as a young child. And learning at a very young age that nobody is coming for you. You can't wait for somebody, your husband, your partner, your wife, whoever that is, the government, whoever that is. Your adversity is the weight that you need to become the person that you're supposed to be. Yeah. So you need that struggle. Now I see it as the deeper the roots into hell, the taller the tree towards light will grow.
I like that.
Wherever you are in life, however deep the scars are, this is your time to shine if you just use it in the right way and push through. Because honestly, so many people are in the same situation, and so many need someone to say, look, I have been there, and you can get through. You need to get through to help other people, inspire them to be better, because it is possible. It is not the easiest, but easy will bring you nowhere. Hard in my life and pushing against the nature of laziness has brought me everywhere, has opened all the doors in my life. So that's what I'm basically doing. It is a fitness program. It is a nutrition program, but that is really to set the body straight
Yeah.
in order to achieve your best version, to create that.
Yeah.
I'm creating the woman that I needed when I was a little girl with all the tools that I have. What did I need? Who did I respect? Nobody came to save me. So now I'm trying to create a person who can tell other people, I'm going to step up and I'm going to take the spotlight. Nobody wants to take it, but I'm going to sacrifice because I know you can do it too. I'm going to show you and I'm going to show you how it's done.
Yeah.
And you follow. That's all I want.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you just became very strong at a young age, and becoming that strong, like, motivated you to become internally and like physically strong. I feel like, because I don't have the best childhood either, and I gravitated towards physical fitness too. And it was it was like an outlet, but it also, like you said, it was a way for me to create the woman I wanted to become. I totally get that, and I love it. So, who's your ideal client? Is it women? Do you work with primarily women?
So I don't know how familiar you are with the law of attraction. I do not chase any clients. So far, I have thought when I was going online that I will attract only women. But I have men and women. I have clients who are coaches themselves.
Oh,
They know how to work out.
yeah.
They need the mindset.
Yes.
And then I have an ex-meth addict who just needs to be held accountable. Then I have a man who is a real estate agent, just got divorced, and he needs to become the man for the daughter is going to marry the man that he's going to be.
Right.
And I'm personally, when you come onto my program, there's no wishy-washy. Vices need to go.
I can tell that about you.
Yeah. So there's no drinking and no drugs because I need your mind to be clear, to connect with your heart and really, really see. You need to strip yourself apart. You need to be honest to yourself and say, these are the things that I really want in life. And I just did not step in because I thought I couldn't have them.
Yeah.
People have lost their belief. When we were children, they connected much better with their intuition.
Oh, yeah.
And they have lost the belief because of society domesticating everybody. Parents, you need to do this, you need to say this, you need to be nice, especially women. You need to be nice.
Yeah.
All of that needs to go, and you need to really see your potential, which I see in a lot of people. I see the potential.
Yeah.
We need to create that, and then we take action according and aligned with the person that you need to be. And you see the result will be elevated. And if people don't see it, we need to step into action right away. You need to just follow what I say, go to the gym, leave all the vices, everything aside, and you will see the belief and the projection and the hope will be restored because you suddenly see the gym. I mean, you have worked out. You can relate that to life.
Oh, yeah.
If you lift 1 pound and no resistance, there's no growth.
Right.
So, but if you go and lift heavy and be strong and feel strong, your muscles will grow. And the growth starts when you really get uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very,
I love
really
getting uncomfortable.
I know. With your success and your story and what you told me, what you've done yesterday in our quick conversation before we started, these are all situations that are uncomfortable for everybody, but you just have to take the action and you will figure it out afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Fear is just our enemy. We need to step into faith.
Yeah. I don't believe in fear. What is it? False evidence appears real. You know, it's like,
yes.
Yeah, from Gary Busey, right? Gary Busey. But I like to just go, I dive into things. I don't allow fear in my life. I can't speak. So Do your clients have a hard time really connecting their heart to their head? Because I feel like there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of disconnection there. What's that journey like for them when they work with you?
It's everybody really experiences it differently. So I am here to help you get out of your own way.
Yeah.
This is the main, so they have 24 access to me, and they know if it's something about the workout, they can write me through the app. I have 2 apps. If it's less important and urgent, but they do have my phone number, and they can text me if they're about to get into the tub of ice cream. And they don't, because it's usually an emotional reaction they're trying to fill. So the experience is different, but I do start with, they all have to create their own 10.0 version first when they start with me. So they have to create actually physically a picture.
Nice. Okay.
And then we go to attributes. There's a system behind it.
Yeah.
And we need to reconnect every day to that person and act and behave and think as our higher version, as our higher self. What would that person be? What would that person say? And for a long time, it's my voice they're hearing until they deviate. And it's really awareness opens up.
Yeah.
I have a list of books I recommend for them to read in the morning. You get up at an uncomfortable time, whatever that is for you. I get up at 2:45, but
oh my Lord, girl, you're crazy. I'm a morning person. No. Wow. Good for you. When do you go to sleep? When do you go to sleep?
The answer is it doesn't matter. So I do try to go to bed at 8:30. That would be great. But I have 2 kids under 6.
Okay.
I have 2 little ones. So obviously they wake up. Right now it's summer and so on. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock or not. I get up. I don't change my system because of my circumstances.
Okay.
You have to be that tree.
Yeah.
Fall back onto your system every day and don't focus on the apps and the 6-pack. Everybody comes in for the apps and the 6-pack. It's superficial. It's great. Start with that motivation. But that's not going to keep you going, or you go back into yo-yo after 90 days. Yeah. We are creating a new identity. You are becoming a different person along the way. A person that is going to make healthy choices and is not going to be victim to what's being served to me at a birthday party.
Right.
I just had my son's birthday party yesterday. He turned 3, and the whole family was in my house. And they're from Missouri. I mean, they all drink, they all eat, ranch dip, and they have all the unhealthy beige foods on their table when we go there. And I just served what I served. And I had no alcohol in my house. I don't serve any alcohol in my house. I don't want my children to be around drunk adults. I do remember how it was for me. Kids do notice that.
Yeah.
And unless you want your kids to drink excessively, go ahead and do it. I'm just not going to do it. And that's a choice everybody has to make for themselves. But I'm very black and white. And I was on the other side a year ago. I do understand where parents, and I was that mom who on the weekends needed her glass of wine to relax.
Yeah.
But that relaxation is you take away the pain that you really need to walk through to understand, what am I trying to escape here from?
Yeah.
And so this is all we're doing constantly. So my clients reach out to me. Everybody has a different angle they're coming from.
Sure.
Some trying to be better parents, and some are in AA groups and trying to motivate others to be better, but they need to be held accountable for themselves. Some people just want to get to a wedding. They want to get married, and they want to have the right size. And that's great too. If you try to be a better person in any way, I would love to work with you.
I love it. I love it. And so is there a specific time frame that they have to commit to work with you?
I started 30 days.
Okay.
This is when the fear plays a role. I would ideally like for you to commit at least 90 days to see a difference. And then from there, I go 60-day, 6 month, and then 12 month. This is the longest. And then you can either join more for the training purpose, or you say, I want to commit, I need somebody in my life who creates that person, the better mother for my children, and or the better dad. And we work more intensely together. So there are two options. There's like an elite option, and there's a mid-level option.
So you're like really coaching on all different levels, not just health and fitness, but also just on them attaining a different version of themselves besides the physical.
Yes.
I love
the
it.
physical is just an outcome, honestly. Everybody who goes on a diet, they can stick to it because they haven't changed their mind around food. It's always the mindset. It's never, we all know we need to work out more and eat less. So it's been around for ages. Don't try to find any shortcuts. There's no shortcut. You just need to understand your own behavior. You have created a weak mindset that you cannot stay away from the cookies. So we're training your mind we lift every day a little bit and push you to do the uncomfortable. So I don't want to eat the cookies, they're in the fridge, but I will be able to, because I am now the healthy version of myself. Whatever. I have a client, she's 60, she goes for a walk every day because wherever you are, she goes for a walk every day. That's her task. 30 minutes a day. She's 63, and she has to focus on the food because her health is just compromised. So wherever you're coming from, it doesn't matter. We'll find something to. There is an urge in everybody to do what you have created, to be to have a podcast, to be heard, to speak up, speak your mind. Everybody has that urge inside of them, but unfortunately, people don't do it, and they need to step up and say, this is who I am. And wherever you are, you can inspire always other people to do better.
I think you would be awesome to work with. Where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Mainly on Instagram. So you find me under Toktam Thomas, Toktam Thomas. And they can write me a message through Instagram. I am there basically 24/7 almost a day. If they want to, I do have a website too. It's tt-health.com. So many people go on my website, but then come back on Instagram. That's why I had to think for a second. So you can click on that link and it will go straight to my phone. There's no operator in between or anything. I want to work with the people, and that's really me answering.
Excellent. You guys, I'm going to put those links in the show notes. So if you connected with Toktam's, the way she works with people on mindset, your health, your wellness, and getting to that ultimate version of yourself, don't hesitate to go follow her on Instagram, go check out her website, and send her a message. It doesn't hurt to start a conversation and see where it leads you. Toktam, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
I would like everybody to know that they're worth every dream they had when they were little. Every little piece, that the whisper that you hear in your ear is meant for you. And this is the only unique dream, the only purpose of yours. You need to heal yourself and give your gift and that person the best version of you back to the world. Pay forward.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Toktam, for being a guest today and sharing your story, sharing what you do. I love that you cover all the bases when you work with your clients, because I feel like that is so necessary when someone is trying to become a better version of themselves. So thank you very much for what you do and for overcoming such an incredible things at such a young age.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.